Alright, what's going on, guys? I just want to give you a sound test and give some commentary on my Danmoto pipe that I just got. So first let me start with the sound test. It's pretty loud and it sounds awesome. I've seen videos where they give sound tests before and it really doesn't do it justice, but I just have to. I'll rev it up to about 7 grand. Alright, so now with that out of the way, installation was pretty easy. It might seem intimidating if you're going to install it yourself, taking that big old exhaust off, but it's super easy. It's literally 6 bolts, 2 on each header up there, and 2 right up here, these 2 where the mount for the new exhaust goes, and then you just have some short springs to connect. The exhaust is basically in 4 pieces. These 2 pipes are 2 separate pipes, and then this little mid piece over here where it's kind of like a splitter type thing, or where it comes into one, and then the can on the end. It was $320 shipped, and that includes the baffle, which was an extra like $12 or something. Now I'm going to link to a video and an article. According to the article, Danmoto is an American company that gets their parts manufactured in China, so that's why it's so much cheaper. And I kind of had some ethical issues doing that, but money was an issue, so I did that's why I decided to go with them. But according to the article, the Danmoto pipes they tested it against a name brand pipe. I forgot which brand it was, but it gives the same, according to the article, it gave the same exact horsepower gains without an ECU tune. And in the video I'm going to link to, it has some, they show the installation of a different pipe, but it looks very similar. It's a Leo Vince, and they installed it on an older Ninja 650, but it was like a 2009 or something. But the point of that is to show that you can get small gains if you just put a new exhaust on a fuel injected bike, even without an ECU tune. Obviously you can get more out of it if you tune your ECU or get a power commander, but I just kind of wanted to prove that point, and then hopefully if the article is true, this is just as good as one of the name brand pipes. But so yeah, the sound is awesome. I was worried about it sounding like a fart can because it was, it's so much cheaper than everything else, but it really doesn't. It sounds, oh god, I just love it. So, and anyway, back to the installation. Like I said, you just mount it up here where those other 2 bolts were, where there's one that goes across the bike, and there were 2 bolts that were just holding up that big ass muffler on the old exhaust. It mounts up to that spot right there, and I tried it without the baffle, and it was super loud, like unbearably loud. So I would recommend getting the baffle. Cops usually don't bother people for loud exhausts, but I feel like you probably might have some issues if you don't get the baffle for it, because it's just that goddamn loud. But it's pretty much like a straight pipe. There's just some packing material on the outside, but it's pretty much a straight pipe without the baffle in there. But so yeah, it seems like in the video they installed a new exhaust that looked very similar to this one. It was a similar style, and they put it on the dyno, and they gained, 3 or 4 horsepower without tuning the engine at, like, I don't know, 7,000 RPM. I mean, yeah, 7,000 RPMs, around there. So, if you're strapped for cash, and you want to make your bike sound better, get a couple horsepower more extra. I mean, it's not a noticeable gain. If I don't even know for sure. I haven't had mine on a dyno, so for all I know, it could be doing worse. And one thing I did notice is that the headers definitely are a bit. The circumference is a bit bigger than the stock, so there's definitely a little more air going through the exhaust. Now, I don't know if that causes any issues, because I know engines are usually tuned to run pretty lean from the factory for emissions purposes. But then there's that video where in the video the 2009, I believe it was a 2009 650, was running too rich. So when they put the bigger pipe on, it leaned it out a bit, and actually things actually went better. So I don't know, it's a crapshoot. But I mean, if, like I said, if you want to be sure, then you have to put it on a dyno. There's just no other way to know for sure. But anyway, I just wanted to let you guys hear it, let you know that I'm pretty satisfied. I mean, it's not the prettiest pipe in the world, obviously, but I wasn't really going for style points. So if you really care about that, then you might want to go with something else, because it is pretty average looking. But it really makes it sound better. And that's pretty much all I really cared about. I wanted it to sound better and louder, so that it's safer, so that other cars can hear me. So, and overall, I'm pretty satisfied. Now, I've heard some criticism that Danmoto pipes don't last very long, that they get charred out and all this. So, I guess that's a possibility. It's a risk I'm gonna have to take. And I've only had this on for about a week or 2 weeks, so we'll see how it goes. But all right, guys, thanks for watching. Have a good day.